Your logo, your name, and your origin story aren't marketing fluff. They're the foundation of trust. In this video, I'll show you how we extract the real brand value from roofers. What customers see first, the story behind the name, the milestone jobs that define you, and the single team members who make everything possible. Use these answers to build hero pages, proposals, and messaging that actually converts. Let's get into it.
So in the value extraction, the first question set we dive into is all about your logo. So your logo is more than just a graphic. It's the heart of your brand. It's often the first impression a client has of your business. And a well-designed logo doesn't just look good. It gives your team something really to rally around and gives your customers something to trust. That's why we start there, because the brand identity is strong. The system and processes built around it can be even stronger. And so when a brand invests in a thoughtful logo design, they're building more than just recognition. They're building something that can stay relevant and be trusted across generations. And so when we conduct your call, the first question we ask is, what do you like the most about your logo? Now, in this question, we really want to hear the story behind your logo. Your logo isn't just a design, it encapsulates your mission, your values, your history, and even your aspirations as a company. And for a lot of business owners, there's something deeply personal behind the choice. So the next question we ask in the value extraction is about your company name. And so choosing a name is one of the most critical decisions you can make when building a brand. As I'm sure you all know, it's not just your primary identifier, it's often a reflection of your mission, your values, and your origin story. When we understand the story behind a name, we really get to see the why behind the brand. And when companies are willing to share that story, it creates a stronger connection with your audience. It builds trust. And so in a crowded market, a name with meaning can seriously big differentiator and a powerful way to reinforce the essence of what your company stands for. So the next question we ask in the value extraction is, why did you decide on this trade? Of all the paths that you could have taken, why did you choose roofing? If there's usually a moment, there's a reason or a turning point behind that decision, and really uncovering that why helps us to understand what motivates you, what you value, and what keeps you committed to this work. When we ask this question, we're not just checking a box. We genuinely want to understand why you chose this industry. And so some clients were born into the roofing trade. It's all they've ever known. What we love to say and ask is, what made you stay? And honestly, it helps us to build a more genuine connection. It shifts the relationship from just implementation from us to the client to actually building a true partnership. Finally, one of the most important questions we ask as a part of your origin story is, what was your first major project? And with this, we really want to hear about the moment you took a leap. You know, that job that really tested you, or maybe the one that launched everything for you. Did you take the risk and get exactly what you expected, or did you take the risk and realize it really wasn't quite what you thought it would be? Because either way, those early experiences really do shape how you lead, how you build, and how you serve your customers today. And understanding that moment helps us to tell a better story in a way that really resonates with you, your team, and your market. Another question we do love to ask is, tell us about the first big job you won. Because most people remember it clearly, because it wasn't just another job, it was a milestone. It was a moment where all the risk, all the uncertainty really turned into something real, something tangible. Because that first big win often tells us a lot about your mindset, your hustle, and the kind of work you want to be known for. It's a defining moment. And asking about a client's first major project isn't just about remembering a job, it's about connecting on a deeper level, because these stories often capture the why behind their decision to stay in this trade. They help to highlight the challenges they overcame and also the lessons they learned and the sense of accomplishment that really came with it. Because those early job milestones, they're not just jobs, they're really pivotal moments, the kind that can define careers and spark long-term passion for the work. And so understanding those moments helps us to really tell a more authentic story and to build systems that reflect the heart of the business, not just our surface level understanding. Because we don't just listen to these stories, we're using these stories. They become the foundation of our hero pages, about the owner sections, and also company bios that actually resonate with clients. It's about bringing your journey to life in a way that your audience can see and feel and trust. So the final question set is all about your team. Because at the end of the day, your people are the primary value drivers in your business. They're the ones who are building trust. They are delivering the work, and they're making your customer experience really stand out. Because in most markets, it's not just the service that sets the company apart, it's really the team behind them. That's why we treat this part of the value extraction process as a key differentiator, because we really do want to highlight the faces, the stories, and the impact that makes your team so unique. And a key team member is really someone who has more than just technical skills, because they bring leadership, they bring vision and reliability, and they usually set the tone for how the rest of the team performs. And when we ask this next question, we know it can feel a little awkward, forward, because the truth is you wouldn't be where you are without your entire team. We're aware that every single person plays a role in the success of your company, but usually we know there's also that one person who really does stand out. There's that team member who's your rock when things get tough, the one who really steps up, keeps things grounded, and just makes your job a little bit easier. Because as a CEO or business owner, you can't do it all. Having someone you can lean on for that support, it really is essential. And when you tell us about that person, it can give us a deeper understanding of your leadership style, your culture, and just the people who really help drive your company forward every day. Because everyone needs a team. And highlighting your team and hearing the owner's genuine expression of appreciation, it just gives us a glimpse into the heart of your business. It reveals your values, it helps show us what you prioritize, and it helps us understand what kind of culture you've built behind the scenes. Because from our perspective, that's crucial to understand. Because when we understand your team dynamic, your internal culture, it just sets the tone for, how are we going to collaborate with you? How are we going to collaborate with your team members? It helps us to work smarter, communicate better, and just build solutions that fit not just your systems, but also the people who are using them, the people who are adopting these systems.